So today, what are we doing today? Run to town and get a gate for the property, so put that up and have a little more security so we can start leaving a few things there. And run a few more errands in town. I just called the well driller, hoping to set up a game plan with him for him to come out. And we got the forester coming out this afternoon. He's going to set up a forest management plan so we can work with the taxes on that. If we keep it taxed as forest land, which it is, then the taxes are a lot more reasonable. So we're going to do that. And I might get the health inspector out there to take a look at the soil. I think I'm going to move where I want the septic system. So he said he'd come out anytime, so I'm going to call him, see if we can get him out there maybe, and we'll back there, put this gate up and do some dirt work. Made it back from town. We got supplies, we got the gate. This was a good idea, I forgot straps. The guy said, hey, I have zip ties. We just zip tied it right to the sled deck. It worked out perfect. We got the gate, we got fuel, we ran the other errands. I'm gonna go inside, change. Ooh, we got Amazon package, more supplies. We're gonna head out there. Still muddy. Oh, with the sun and the wind. Dry out a little bit, but still muddy. Doesn't help much. It's like noon, so we got a pretty late start, and we're not behind schedule, but we're close to being behind schedule. We more or less have, let's see, 3 days. It's a Tuesday. We're picking that excavator up on Friday. So we have 3 days. And hopefully we can get it all done. We have to finish cutting the pad. It shouldn't be, man, it is so nice. That creek is just so nice. We have to finish cutting the pad, which I should be able to do today. And I need to cut the driveway into here. Here, I'll show you guys what we got going on here. So we need to finish cutting that pad up there. And let me see, I'm just trying to tighten this thing up here. I need to cut the driveway in and clean everything out of here. I think the driveway is going to kind of swoop in right at this pile. Oh, these trees. And I'm going to cut that all the way back to the edge there, and at one point grade is going to meet grade over there. So then we can still have access to that road that cuts up to the top of the mountain. So what we're thinking now, and we're winging it so hard, but it's I think we have the means to make it work. We are now going to put the shop on this side, I think. We're going to build the shop, so you'll pull in from over here, and the shop will be facing this way. We're going to stuff it back in the corner, right over here. You stuff it back in the corner there. So you pull in, from this side, so the shop will be nice. So, I mean, start out with probably one garage door, just for cost's sake, because we're trying to build this thing debt free. And it's going to be tight. It's not going to be super tight. I'm pretty sure we can do it with maybe a couple $1,000 left over, so we'll see. But swoop it in, you'll have a garage door facing you and have a man door on that side. Then the stairs will go upstairs to the living quarters that we're gonna do. But anyway, I'm rambling. We need to do the dirt. I need to call the inspector for the septic. I want to dig a test hole over there because I think I want to run my septic over there now that the house is moved, the shop house, whatever you want to call it, now that it's moved location. So I'd like to dig over there. Once Liz gets out here, we'll measure it, make sure we're far enough away from the creek. Pretty sure we are. Kind of wraps around the mountain there. So we'll do that. Then I need to do the road. So that gives me 2 days full. One to do the road, one to slice in the septic, hypothetically. Thinking it's gonna go over there now, but that gives me a full day to cut all that in, dig the hole for the tank, and the lines for the leach field. Day for the road coming in, and the half of the day to finish the rest of this dirt up, which I think I should be able to do. We set the laser up last night after all the cameras had died, and the grade is actually really close. I always thought I had a decent eye, but it was actually really, really close. I'd say within 1.5 inches. But that was only for, I don't know, maybe 40 feet. So I still need to go back in the corner over there, scrape all that out, make that flat. And then where I'm sitting right here, make all this flat. I think I can do it. I think it'll be nice. This place has huge potential. It's just so much work. You never realize how big a project really is until you start diving in. I thought initially here that, I mean, it'd be quick. I knew it'd be fairly quick because I'd done landscape in the past, but nothing to this magnitude. But as soon as you start something of this size, at least I thought, holy shit, this is gonna be a good project. I knew I was capable, but it's a big project, so we'll see. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm excited. All right, I'm gonna warm this thing up a little bit. It was cold. I'm gonna get to work. I'll set this up. So I kind of wanted to just break down what I'm doing over there. It seems super straightforward to me, but I wanted to explain to some people what exactly I'm doing now. Now that I have like the lump of the dirt moved. So what I'm doing is I have this grade set over here, which is, grade is the level that you're building at. Grade changes at every single job, but grade for this job is what I have set. It actually ended up being determined by wherever that chunk of granite is right here. We're standing right on top of it. So that is grade because that was the lowest I could go, if that makes sense. So I ended up flattening the whole area out, the whole home site out, to the lowest point I could go. With that being said, I've worked my way this way, following that same point, following grade, all the way down. And what I do to try to keep that is I'm just comparing it. Almost anybody could hop on this thing, and after running this for, let's say, a day, 8 hours, you're gonna be able to figure this thing out. You probably aren't gonna be at the level that I've moved this dirt. You know, I have a little bit of experience on this thing, but anybody could hop on this thing and run it. What anybody can't do is look at something and see what level is. Not everybody has a level eye. Some people have it and some people don't. That's the only way to it. There's no way around it. I'm lucky enough to have a level eye, so all I do is look to see where I'm at and keep that same grade all the way across. So now that I have the lump of the dirt moved, I'm looking and comparing over at my grade and scraping out what I need to and just pushing it over the bank. I'm picking and choosing now that we have the lump of the soil over the bank. So now I'm picking and choosing and kind of shaping this thing and seeing where I want the dirt and everything like that. So, like I said, all I'm doing is scraping it at the same level, running it at grade the whole way back. It's a really fine scrape now. You know, we're not in there taking full scoops, digging holes. Yeah, there are some piles where we're gonna take some full scoops and push the rest over the bank. But for the most part, we're just scraping everything back now. We're keeping grade, we're setting grade. When you're setting grade like this, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be rough. If you're within, I don't know, hell, even 5 inches, you know, 5 inches will do. Once you get some gravel in here, you can level the whole thing out with some grade rakes and move all the gravel around. And then you have your sub base set, so you have something to work with. You know, ideally you want to get it within 2 inches, I think. 2 inches makes it really easy to rake gravel around real quick. You get your whole sub base set in 2 hours, you know, with 2 guys and something like this. But we're gonna get this pretty flat. I'll scrape grade out that way. I think I'm gonna have to go rent a plate whacker and kind of run this whole thing just so we have a little stability to it. You know, the stability thing, that's a whole another can of worms there, so we'll get into that. You know, step in the bank, and so we don't have slip slopes or anything like that. But I just wanted to stop and kind of explain what I'm doing here. I'm gonna let the camera roll just so people can see that this isn't as quick of a process as it looks. A lot of the time lapses make it look like it's just bing bang boom, but this is a little bit of a slower process than one would maybe assume just by watching the videos. So I'm gonna let the camera roll, and you'll see me just scrape everything out and clean the rest of it up. Hopefully have the whole thing set here in a little bit. So that's a little bit of that. Yeah, to me, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing to it, but to some people, it isn't as straightforward, and that's why I wanted to kind of explain it. So now, you know, I was thinking while I was on that thing, people might think, well, what the hell do you do if you don't have a level eye? Well, I bought a laser. This laser transit, I think it was like 300 something bucks on Amazon, 370 bucks on Amazon. It's worth it. It's totally worth its weight in gold. The laser ones you can do by yourself. You can set the thing up. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna go around and check everything with a laser and see how close I actually am. I think I actually might be a little low over in that little trench that I just dug over here. So that's why we want to set this laser up. And I'll do that and show everyone what we got going on there. So the laser's set up. I'll show you guys that here in a bit. It's a Johnson laser transit, I think is what it's called. The old transits is you have two people. You have a guy looking through it with the big story pole and seeing where you're at. But this one, since it's a laser, it just sits there and shoots a laser out. You can run it with one guy, so it's super handy. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to step behind the camera and pick my grade off of this chunk of granite. So we'll find that and then we'll check everything. All right, so now the grade's set. I'll just kind of show you how this works really quick. So this is shooting out a laser, like I said. So that laser is at the same level. I'll show you here in a sec how I leveled that transit over there. But that is shooting a laser across anywhere that you can see that thing at a level line. So then we take our story pole with the receiver on it and we go and see. And since that line is level, depending on either how far the bottom of the story pole is from the ground or how far we'd hypothetically have to sink it into the ground, that tells us exactly where it's at. It's kind of like reading a tape measure, I guess, if you think about it ish. Maybe not, I don't know. So I'm gonna run grade really quick and see where we're at. Check it. So like right there, you can see I was holding the pole up off of the ground, maybe 2 inches. So from our grade, that means that that spot is about 2 inches low. that spot's dead on. This is the same thing. That's about an inch or two low, which is fine because we're going to pull gravel in and fill the whole thing. This is all high over here, I believe. Very high. Yeah, maybe an inch high. But what I really want to check is over here, the new stuff that I've been working with. I knew all this stuff was pretty close. So I'll turn this thing here so everybody can watch this too. I think all this is going to be pretty high. Let's see, where's that? I don't know, maybe it might be close. Little holes might be close. It's actually pretty close. So let me, so what I'll do is I'm going to set a spot close to my work zone. I'm going to set a spot at grade. I'll just kick some dirt with my feet and set a spot right at grade, and I'll probably mark it with a couple sticks, put an X in it so I know that is grade. And that way I have a point that I know is right, and it's a reference point just to work off of. So I'm going to do that over here somewhere. Actually, this is pretty low right here. This is, and it's not terrible, maybe 10 inches, 9 inches. So it's enough for us to scrape around and play with. You know, if 10 inches is getting close, but if you're starting to get upwards of 10 inches, then you really got to start taking a look and see where your rolls are, because then you got to start pulling dirt back. Right now we have enough dirt still soft and fluffed around right here that we have plenty to work with, so I'm not super worried about that yet. It's a lot easier to always take dirt off than it is to fill dirt back in. You always want to be a little high so you can scrape it down. Once you start filling stuff back in, it's never really fun. So let's go over here a little bit further and we'll see where we're at, and I'm going to set that spot. Let me mark this. I almost forgot to mark it. Alright, so I got that marked with a chunk of wood. This laser, I mean, you gotta have it perfect. It's very minute increments to get this thing perfectly steady. I mean, we're talking, I'd say, almost 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, it's pretty tight, which makes it good. We actually got a little weather coming in, a little snow, rain, something. So let me let me take everybody over here. I want to show you this whole setup. We'll run through this since we got this set up right here. This is the receiver end of everything. So obviously you can take this and move it up and down. Since I already have my grade set where the laser's at, I'm gonna leave it, and that just makes it easier. As long as I don't move that laser for the rest of the day, then I have grade set so I can check everything. I don't think I'm gonna make my way back down today. I still got a lot of dirt to push over here. But all you do is, so that's off because I had it on. So you turn the thing on, green light is on. You take this thing and run it anywhere into your ground to set your grade, and then you run your laser so it's dead flat with your grade. You do have a little level on top here. You want to pay attention to that just a little bit. You can see it in there. That way, you know, you don't have your pole leaning either way. Or it'd be nice if there was another level facing the other way on the top. That way you got it this way also, so you know that your story pole is dead plumb. But just eyeball it, I guess. It's close enough. Yeah, so we'll take everybody over here. Take a look at this laser. So this is that laser transit. It's a Johnson. The whole kit is a Johnson. I bought it off of Amazon. Like I said, it was like 300 something bucks. And that laser just sits there and spins. And all it's doing, let me see, I can probably even catch it a little bit. All it's doing, there it is just shooting a laser out level across the whole pad. So I just walk around with the receiver and see what needs to go up and what needs to go down. Super straightforward. What I like to do when I set that whole stand and everything up is I try to get the stand as level as possible before I even start messing with these little adjuster pegs that you see on this thing. It's got both these levels on the top here, so I use my feet and push on the foot pegs and watch these levels and get them as close as I can without having to adjust the little adjuster knobs on this thing. It just makes it easier. Then it's just very minute adjustments, micro adjustments. Try to keep that plate, the separation in this plate, that gap even. I don't know why, just personal preference. So I'll get back to work here, start digging the rest of this dirt out. All right, I got the rest of the pad cut. It's pretty big, which is a good thing. They're gonna need a lot of room. I'm gonna grab this transit over here, or the receiver, and kind of see where we're at. Looks good. It's getting there. I'll take a step back over here. Grab this receiver. Kind of walk backwards and show everybody what we're working with here. Gotta get out in the bushes to get it all. That's mostly it. It's huge, and we need it. So the shop's gonna be back here closest to us, over here in the corner. And I think I'm gonna cut those evergreens straight ahead at 12 o'clock. I think I'm gonna take those out and swoop the driveway in right there. And that way we have this whole pad right in front of the shop, to maneuver, to turn trailers around. We don't have any real long trailers, so we don't need a ton of room, but you know, the boat and the pop-up camper. So that'll be nice. Still got a few trees down over the bank I gotta clean up. I'm gonna come in and pull all this dirt that I pushed down there initially. I think I'm gonna pull that all up. And then I'll come in and pad this bank a little bit, clean up the rest of this junk down here. Get it all out. Clean up the rest of these piles I got going around the edge. And then once this is flat, hopefully we can get a truck in here. He can dump some gravel. We'll have to see what I can do with the driveway. Yeah, get some gravel in here, and then the next step is going to be containing that cut that I got here. We'll do a block wall along that whole thing. That's the plan for now, at least. As you can tell, plans change a little bit here. But we'll do that. You can see it. There's already some starting to slough off. We got the rain, so the moisture coming through isn't helping at all. We'll get that going. I'm going to check grade here, so I'll shut up for a little bit, and we'll get back to it. Okay, so grade is actually really close. I got it within an inch almost everywhere. Right in the middle, there is a little bit of a belly. It's about 6 inches low in the middle, but everywhere else I have it about an inch low, which is perfect. I mean, best case scenario, we bring in 4 inches of gravel to pack this whole thing and have a base. Obviously some places might be a little thicker, some places might be a little thinner, but it actually worked out perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is get out of the rain for a bit, go sit in the truck and warm up, wait for the forester to be here. He should be here pretty soon. I don't know exactly what time it is, but he should be here soon. I hope the rain doesn't scare him away. But he'll be out here and we'll come up with a management plan. I'm gonna call our septic system buddy, get him out here, make sure I can dig my leach field where I want to, and yeah, it's pretty much caught up to speed for now. I'll show you this brush pile once we get closer down here. This pile of rock was here when we bought the place. I don't know if I pointed that out yet, but I'm gonna take some of those and shore the bank up a little bit. So that worked out perfect. Those are decent sized rocks. I should be able to stack them nice. But this is the brush pile that we got going. I bet you at that top, that one that's sticking up there, that's gotta be 15 feet up there. This thing's huge. This will be a hell of a New Year's party once we light this on fire. That's gonna have to be 2 feet of snow on the ground for that thing to go. There's our gate.
Yes. Yes. Wow. I was not expecting this. No. Ugh. What made you decide that?
What do you mean what made me decide? You made me decide.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.